Hello and welcome to Divine Unisouls 11. This is Divine Sunshine. I am your guide as we go through the energies for the eclipse season. Spirit told me to come on and give us a guideline because especially when we talk about eclipse, we talk about shadow and light, and this being a solar, it's about really how we're shining, no pun intended, of being called Divine Sunshine. And really truly understanding how we are able to utilize that energy. And so I wanted to look at it, but I always try to get like a checkup as far as the energies, especially when we're talking about with the eclipse, a lot of shadow work going on. And I know for us that's on this channel, we're not new to it. With the shadow work, is pretty much, we know that's something we have to go through, we have to grow through, and especially we want that spiritual ascension. That is something that is very essential for us to be able to do at this point, as far as is we want to level up and go up to the next level. Really, we had the Aries season, we're moving into the Taurus season, we're kind of like phasing out. We're still, but however, with this moon that we have, the energy is going back into Aries like it's a double hit, as far as, again, about understanding about the self. If you really not even understanding or getting it, really truly seeing that us looking at the Aries energies, which is about the self and the knowing of the I am. So we really truly are moving into this understanding about who I am, and especially with these eclipses, like guides and spirit is like, no, go back to self. No, stop looking outside of self. No, it's all about you. What are you still hiding, or they say, or harboring? That means like you're really harboring something and kind of like hiding it on the slide, and you really don't want anybody else to know. For them, you use the word harboring. There's aiding and abetting. So there's some things that maybe you might be even lying to yourself, or really not aiding yourself in not really truly dealing with this shadow work, or assisting and enabling, really to the point that they say that you're handicapping yourself if you do not truly deal with this stuff. A lot of people, even in this, you'll find a lot of people are more gravitating of like minds during this season. And you also find other people pulling away. You also find yourself in this season where you got high highs, low lows, and you just kind of like buckle up like a roller coaster ride for what's going on. As soon as you get such a big disappointment, something comes along to give you this great high to say, okay, I can still stay in it. And I have experienced that in this eclipse season. It really understanding also in my learning, during this journey of understanding that this whole thing of how the universe is run is really truly of right and wrong, really polar opposites, understanding the yin and the yang, but understanding that, again, the light and the dark, the shadow and the light, the bad and the ugly, those two things, the good and the ugly, those two things. And a lot of times, especially on this journey, really truly understanding that might be like, as far as when you're looking at your counterpart or whatever like that, what might be good for them might end up being bad for you. What seems to be bad might be really good for you. Really truly not believing in the illusions, and really truly understanding that we are really coming into mad manifestation. Like, I literally this morning, when I was looking for something because I was trying to clean up my room, and I was like, I really need like a garbage bag. And I kept on digging, and then voila, there goes a garbage bag. And so we really are in the energies of really, that's why we have to be very careful about the words that we're using and about the thoughts. And those two things are very crucial as far as what are we manifesting. What conversations are we saying, even to ourselves, that help to sow the energies of understanding within, so without. Is also perpetuating the universe, how it's showing up for you. to out into your outer world, not let alone your inner world. And so we really have to understand that when we're talking about the Aries energy of really, Aries is really a pioneer. I am a fellow Aries too. And so I understand that we really are out there, but what's shadow of an Aries is we're good initiators, what we don't have a good follow through and closing and keep the momentum going. It takes so much energies and stamina for us to do so many things or ideas that we have that sometimes we lose the stamina as we're going along. So it's very important during this season that once we find some of these golden nuggets or some things that's been shown to us, that we are really truly taking in. It's a lot of guidance, a lot of opening to guidance from our guides, really hearing it extremely clear, just like the Aries energy. It's just Aries energy is just spot on, targeted, like bam, that's it. Aries don't have like duality in thought. If it is, it's like, okay, I'm not seeing it too clear, but once we see it, it's on. It's not low, or I think I'm going left, I'm going right. No, we're going right. This is the way we're going. I feel it. Really relying on that intuition and understanding. But this is really, you're going to feel yourself definitely during this season, if you have not, or if I'm that confirmation for you, to say like, oh my God, like, yes, you are really getting really guidance, clear as a bell, understanding what's all going on, what's all the bigger picture, what's going on with others, and just really truly getting this sound, like feeling like I could tell this didn't come from me, and I feel like I get it, and I feel like, again, this is really like the divine truth that's being told to me. So what we're going to do is, I've been guided to do it in threes. So we're going to do a 3 pile, pick pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, and look at whichever number that resonates with you, pile 1 or pile 2, pile 3. But we're going to do the overall energies. I'm going to shuffle on camera so that you can see that I'm doing. So what we're going to do is, in each one of the piles, we're going to look at what is the overall energies as far as the shadow that you should be working on during this shadow period. Because I know the shadow period, what it ends at is it May 14th or something, but then you got that in between the eclipse season, it ends May 14th, but you got that in the shadow period, which my understanding almost is not like an all clear almost until the end of May, pretty much. And so I'm going to look at what things should you be working on as far as the shadow work and the light work, that you should be in the shadow and the light. What's the good part you should continue on, and what's the things that you got to kind of heavy, you got to kind of really look into as well. The overall energies for the eclipse season is this: the end of a tough cycle approaches. And what comes to mind when I think of this is that the victory card in some of the tarot or readings that I've seen, and most of the time when you have that victory card that comes out, it's been a great battle. It has not been easy for you to get to where you are. It's a little slight in the communications too. I feel it. And especially when we talk about this will probably be more so of a spin or a focus more so on the divine masculine energies. So if I was you, I would look at this two ways. One way, I would look at the divine masculine energies within yourself, because remember, we hold both polarities, masculine and feminine. And you might be, if you're really that in tune within, like I say, everything's coming clear. Okay, I'm back. My alarm clock went off for my mom for a medication. Okay. All right, so a little bit of that. I was saying, clear as bell, you are going to be able to tell what energies that you are actually in. I've looked in the mirror and I've seen like, oh, masculine energies or feminine energies. Doesn't matter what you have on. You can tell, and you'll feel yourself really resonate and kind of bounce between the two. So kind of look at yourself and see. So right now, like I said, look at this twofold. The divine masculine energies is one way of looking at it, and then also look at it from the energies of your counterpart as far as how they're moving in their energies too. So you could look at the piles 1, 2, and 3, pick a pile for yourself, and then pick a pile for your counterpart too, to kind of tell where they are and what shadow work and what light work that they have to work on too. But the overall energies is right now we're coming out of a tough cycle, and the end of a tough cycle approaches. Full moon in Capricorn. Capricorns are really very noted for getting down to business, very business minded. So I would say again in that energies is really getting down to business, and Capricorns really know what's right and what's wrong. Like I hear Jay say, who's right and who's wrong? What have you done for me lately? Ooh, yeah. So I would feel really in some ways that is really what you're asking yourself. And you might be even asking other people, what have you contributed to my life? Is there something again that you should stay or go? Or it might be even things that you're looking at this moment and saying, okay, what are you contributing? Are you contributing it, who's right and who's wrong? Maybe it's time for you to kind of again get rid of some things too as well. You're doing a lot of introspective approach of looking at things to seeing what is really adding on, what else can I do. So it's interesting again that came to me. What have you done for me lately? This is what you're asking yourself. As far as maybe even jumping into getting to your goals, like, have I really truly been doing things that have been contributing to me really living the dream? So what have I done for myself lately? I need to put that down. Lately, I just put it down as long as I can remember it, because I may forget. A lot of downloads too. A lot of kind of like kind of, you can tell we're ascending because there's some like remembering things, forgetting things. I don't know if maybe that's just me, but those things are kind of still happening too as well during the season. So this is good. I'm glad. You might be seeing a lot of 99s. I know early I seen 55. Like right now I see 333. So those numbers are right there, literally letting you know if you're seeing those signs. Those numbers rather is letting you know that is again, I see the number 604 because the time is 604 here now, which is letting me know really at 10. And remember again, like the Brian McKnight song saying, and we start back at 1, really being ready to prepare for an ending. I'm seeing the darkness is rising. As for some of us, it might be energies. I know I kind of felt it when it went into the Mercury retrograde, and that's also affecting us too. Things were getting a little kind of wonky. I'm like, whoa, wait a second. I got to stabilize myself. I got to ground myself, because I'm seeing a lot of stuff coming to me as well. But I seen, and somebody sent me an email stated that we have to make sure that we got to see as far as how are we seeing these. Are we seeing them as, woe is me? Are we seeing this as an opportunity? And it's really, an opportunity to say, no, I'm going to stand in my power. I would not give you my power. I see X, Y, and Z trying to come to me, but I know specifically what it is that I want, where I want to end up at. So those are some things that you have to kind of really get yourself grounded. You've got to use the power of the number of April being the 4th month to really use that power to really truly ground and be grounded. All right, let's look and see as far as, so that's the overall energy, is we're ending a tough cycle, and how we're able to end the tough cycle is again through shadow work. And Spirit is kind of again is telling me that this is going to happen whether you want to or not. Okay, clear. because it's got to be done, and it's going to kind of keep on tapering and keep on circling around the block. That's one, to make sure that you are actually doing what you need to do. Ooh, that's a lot. Okay, that's face down. That's 2. I shouldn't have said that on it. I ain't thinking no 2. All right, I will not go on that one. And let's see what the light is for this. Clear. All right, here we go. All right, so if you're pile number 621, okay, you are doing the following. Let me see if I can put that 621. Okay, if you are pile number 1, we're looking at black flower fragrance, the number 16. So we have you moving into understanding, relying upon your intuition, your awareness, and also in love. To me, with this pile number 1, what I pick up is really truly understanding what is, again, although things might appear to be ugly, but they're not. That's the same thing like this morning, having my meditation, and meditations have now moved on to a lot of talking and really getting the answer. I call it the call and response to spirit. It's not like a lot of me, I won't. It's actually, I'm hearing this response back from spirit and really truly saying and feeling like it's really truly giving me the guidance that I need. This is the same thing like I feel for the person who's pile number 1, truly understanding and trusting the intuition and your awareness that's bringing to you now into things that you love, whether it's the person or your counterpart, or whether it is just the things that you love in life, or the things that you love to do, or the things that you would love to do because that's like your dream. Really understanding that, again, how things might be presented to you, being able to see beyond that. Really what has been shown to me is about these illusions and seeing beyond the illusions, watching the words that I'm using too, as well as saying, I am tired. No, changing it to I feel tired, or those things. Less attachment to using the I am statements to it, but understanding again about what's going on in the situation. So maybe if that person is in a third party energies situation, person, place, a thing, and you might be saying again the illusion of it, well, in your mind you might be saying, that seems like that person is good for them. Oh, that's good for them. They're being on the job, that's good for them. Are they being with that person? That seems like that's really good for they. It look like I won't compare to that. But the illusion in that would be that, again, that they might be good for them, but they're not the best for them, or they're not the divine for them. Okay, because again, understanding, I said, I am becoming the healthiest version of me. Okay, so understanding that even if that presents itself, it seems like they're really all good in the hood in the situation that they're in, understanding that just because it seems like it's good or it smells like whatever it is, it might not be the best situation for that person, but they're pretending or making it seem that way. My thing for pile number 1, I keep on picking up is the illusions of things. And some kind of way, you have your eyesight or your viewing of thing is miscued. Even if things look bad, look beyond it, because it's interesting that this card represents a fragrance that, again, is a black orchid. Might not smell well, but again, the whole thing, the fragrance of it might seem sickening or whatever like that, but the overall energies of it and understanding is still a flower and there's still beauty in that. It's got my heart chakra is activated with that. So we have to understand that it's something about the way in which you are. You pick pile number 1 in your actions as in your divine masculine actions. That means about how you're going about getting things, what you're doing, how you're manifesting things. You've got to watch it, because sometimes in some ways you don't want to manifest it because of what you think it seems like it is. It looks like, if it looks like it's ugly, or it looks like it's too hard, or it looks like it's too challenging, you're like, I'm not going to do it. But then at the same time, even if there's a challenge in it, just like the Bible says that again, things are going to come our way, but again, the promise is that it's not going to touch you. So we have to understand that this is life, this is earth, this is teachable planet. Things of that nature is going to have that. I like that song that said, what comes up must come down. It's no sense of crying when it's raining, okay? Because again, you always, what comes up must come down. It's always going, what has a smile is always going to be followed up with a frown. So it goes both ways. That's just how life balances itself. And it's like what I said about the shadow and the light at the beginning. So this is it for pile number 1 in your shadow work. Watch how you're seeing things, point blank. Here's about so what are you saying? Watch how you're seeing things. Even if it's ugly, is there a way in which you can be able to see the beauty in it? If somebody does, I just say that, if somebody quits on you, is there a way in which you can look at it and say, okay, all right, you quit, you're no longer a part of the relationship or the connection or the organization or whatever. Is there a way that I can look at that and say, oh my God, there's an opportunity for somebody else or something to come in to fill in that spot that might be 10 times greater or better. Okay, so look and watch how you are looking at things. The light thing that they want you to do is to work on is move through fear. Okay, and that's what I was saying earlier. I didn't look at the cards again. This person, you pick pile number 1, how you're looking at things, and because it don't look right, you're like, oh my God, I'm just not going to do it. I'm just going to stay right here. I'm not going to pass go. That's the issue, because excuse me, you got to release, because you want to make sure that again, on the other side of fear is where you're supposed to be. On the other side of fear is your greatness. On the other side of fear is, again, especially I see 1313. So it's got to be a reboot. It's got to be a death. In order for you to have a death, you got to let it go. In order for you to have that reboot or that transformation into something new. This is what has to happen. So you've got to move through how these things are being seen. This is the light of things. And so it can be able to move you to your divine you, or you being the God that you are. Also in your light work, and you pull pile number 1 is joy. Work on joy. Work on being in the moment. Work on being present. Work on seeing and concentrating more on the joy or the happiness or the higher or the lighter frequencies or the more positive frequencies, instead of you continuously looking at things that are going wrong. This is where you're going to be able to, and I like she has the glasses on, which to me seems like, again, you got to get more focused, hyper focused in and laser sharp as to, again, what you are seeing. Clean the glasses a little bit. When I look at that, I say her glasses have a glare, and then a little bit could be cleaned. Clean the glasses of life, the lenses of life, and really truly start to see what you are concentrating on and looking at, so you can change. Especially we're talking about it in this season is very major mad manifestation. You truly have got to watch what you are looking at. Okay, so that is the end for pile number 1. So again, move into joy, move past that fear, and watch what you're looking at. Okay, all right, moving on to pile number 2 is 14. 55. Okay, so pile number 2 You had a lot of lot of shadow work. I guess I'm about that's my masculine. That ain't me. No, I just say divine masculine, or that is again what person is showing up in that action of movement in the 3D, or that's my counterpart. That ain't me. This person right here, the shadow you got to work on is this masquerading. Spirit saying in some ways this is going to tell a story. So your shadow work is that you're masquerading because you got a lot of people that are feeding off of you. Which makes you hold on to the past and have one foot in the future and one foot in the past, and it keeps you stuck. And so really in some ways your divinity is you're drained. This person, you are really fatigued at this point, and you're not angel, which means to me you're not being the angel that's really been sent. An angel is a messenger or a helper of God. And to me, as being a light worker, you're probably not even feeling able to do your work in the world because you are so drained at this point. And some of it is point because of all of this on the outside energies. You have an issue with your own self-worth and not really knowing that you're an angel. It's an angel amongst thieves or amongst devils. That's what came to me. So you got to really go back and really find out who you are, okay? Because right now, envious gluttony, to me, you're looking at everybody else as like the Joneses, or you're looking around at everything else, and because you don't know who you are feeding off of everybody else. That reminds me of an incident I have this going on. One of how doubted she watches this, but anyway, one of my past former students had asked me for money. It was in a little situation, and I felt to me that again the situation that they were in, I wasn't really truly understanding because I haven't heard from this student for a while, and again I was like one of my first classes that I ever taught. And for it to hit me with that request was kind of really interesting. And I tried to, the energy that she was in, and I was like, part of me was like, okay, maybe should help. Another part of me is like, no, because I've been here before and I felt this energy before. And I know where this ends up, which is to keep on continuously asking for money. I learned that from the master. Of that, and I was like, I'm not going down this road like this again. This doesn't work. And I could tell by that energy. I said, I felt this energy before, and I'm not gonna put other people's stuff on blast, but let's just say I've been taught this lesson very well from someone, and I'm like, we're not going down this road again, not by somebody else. So I figured that really the universe was sending me a message to try to see, did I learn? First, in some ways, I would kind of beat myself up because, again, I was like, well, maybe I should, because then a lot of stuff was kind of happening, and it was making me really kind of start to think like, oh, okay, well, when I don't help out, X, Y, and Z usually happens, so maybe I should help out. But then I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm about to externate that kind of type of feeling or that thought, that ideology, because that don't make any sense. I'm standing in my power. I'm protecting myself. I am, again, knowing that, again, the situation is not right. I even talked to somebody else that know the person, and they was like, this is the whole backstory. And I was like, no wonder this didn't feel right. Now I really know the answer is no. And so this is where we are as far as where I'm looking at this gluttony. Interesting enough, the situation the person had in is like, okay, first of all, I don't want to get step into it because that's really your karma. That's your lesson to learn. And then you do truly have somebody else. But I'm noticing that even being in that consciousness of having that low self-worth, once the person tells me, I don't want to get too deep in it because it's telling the person that I'm told enough of their business. But I was like, it looks like, again, okay, you're not going to the person again that you should be asking for this money from, but you ask to be a person you ain't spoke to in maybe 30 years plus. And to me, it's like, again, it was gluttony, because again, you don't know who you are. You find yourself in, my whole roundabout is this: you don't have self-worth about yourself. You find yourself doing things that are really questionable, and just like, I'm just really trying to feed to make myself feel whole. And it's really not, again, granted that you have to do that. If you are really in your right and sound mind of knowing your own worth, you would not do that, nor would you put anybody else in that kind of position. They have to kind of think to tell you no about this, because if you're in your right mind, you would know that this don't really equate, or this don't really make sense, me asking anyway about that. And so this, to me, because of this low self-esteem, it's like you're grabbing it out to everybody else to make you whole. And this is where this envious gluttony is. And to me, although you think about envy, but you're looking at others and you're like, okay, well, you got it, so you should be able to give it to me. And it's not really their right to have to give that to you, because they have the right to tell you no. This person, to me, they shadow work. They got to work on that. They don't like when people tell them no. But again, it's like, but it's your issue. But they feel like, and to me, when I pick up on this power person, that shadow is like, again, but you know my situation, you know what's going on, and you should be very forgiving. And they're expecting more of others than they're not expecting of themselves. And it's like, okay, well, if you got self-worth, you wouldn't do that, because then you understand how you're putting other people in their position. And so this is what's going on with this. So this person, you pick pile number 2. You've got to really, yes, thank you. You got to watch how you're showing up and how you present yourself to the world, which is not really your true self. You're masquerading thing. And it's time for you in your shadow to really reveal who you are. Your thoughts are creating this really overreach of energies that's going on in your mind, that is letting the ego kind of really truly take over. And again, you got to check that ego. Ego is good as a good motivator. It gets you out there. But then after a while, and I said that several times on this channel, you need to kind of tell it to go take a back seat. Say, thank you, I got this, and I'm going to take over from this part. Matter of fact, you could go over there to the passenger side, and I got this. Thank you. You led me, because I didn't know how I was going to navigate in this situation. Because sometimes, you know, you get in this situation, it's like a job interview or something like that. And you might have to find yourself like, okay, let me get into ego mode to kind of get me in door. Like, yes, you need me for this job because of X, Y, and Z. And then once you get into it, then you're like, okay, all right, then now that's enough. Let me not keep on with the ego, because they'll start to fluffing and lying, and then I find myself in this interview saying something I shouldn't be saying, and then I'm a whole lot of trouble for doing that. You know, so this is where you are with that. So the masquerading here is something that, again, you got to work on. And I think that this, again, this person, you pile number 2 person, you would allow ego to kind of really, not even ego, but your mind kind of overrunning, like, I should present myself like this. I feel like it, to me, you're doing a lot of comparison. If you're pile number 2, you're comparing yourself to a lot of other people, and you shouldn't. You should just be worried about what's going on with you. Going back to the Aries eclipse energy, which is about team I am, okay. And again, making it that it said there's no I in team, but we're gonna make it an I for this, because this is going to help us understand that we got too many things leeching onto our energies again, and that could be energetically. We've got to watch it and kind of get rid of those things too as well, that might have attached themselves, because again, it's about this time it's okay to be selfish, because again, social in society has made it seem as if it's not okay to be selfish. You know, maybe something has been told to you, even as a child or whatever like that. And Aries are really notorious for knowing, for people to say, well, you're selfish. You know, you're all about self. But again, we know who knows ourselves better. And this is really a good place to be, because again, that's why I said the intuition and the relying on self. This is very big as well. So again, we got the number 19, which is a catalyst. Somebody is a catalyst. They're supposed to push you to go on further. I feel like there might be like a tower moment that might happen for this person in power 2, that is going to help them to understand that you got to get like what's it with this somebody shake it off. I can see her, like I said, the brain there, and I can see her, she looking at me, and she said her name, and then it fade right back out. So you got to kind of get to that point where you are really actually shaking it out. Taylor Swift, thank you. So like, I heard it shouted Taylor Swift. So yeah, you got to get to the point that you are actually shaking it off at this point, these things. And some of these parasites is just really truly just your mind again, these negative thoughts. And I told you, especially during this season, it's very important that you shake off those negative energies, because that's going to stop you from manifesting where you want to go. You, this power number 2 person, watch it again, that you are holding on to the past again, and it's stopping you from moving forward as well. I see stairs here. Some of you are holding on to some old flowers. If it's about love, it's about, again, things that have been gifts that has been given to you, or gifts even in the spiritual that you might have been kind of let it kind of fade away. Spirit is saying, like, you know, again, because you keep on being stuck in the past, it's time for you to go on ahead and to move into the future, so you can pick up these new energies and these new gifts that they have for you. 10, again, understanding in the shadow work that you have to do as a colors angel. You've got to be ready to, again, to progress and to start all over again. You're going to have to get ready to really to reveal a new you. You're going to have to get rid of some old values, some old ideologies, some old philosophies. It's time for you to move on into your newness. So again, in your shadow work, get ready to clean the slate, clear the slate, and clean the slate clean at this point, so you could be able, I see this dark horse back here. There is some things like a dark horse that really of value that you have maybe override or have said, you know, that's not of value, but it is. That's going to help you from where you are. Also understanding that, again, about who you are, you being drained by everything. You got to go back into, again, I said, pull from that Aries energies, which is by action, is by your divine masculine, and really start finding ways to pour into self at this point. This is time for you, to me, I would say this power needs to learn how to really truly be selfish. No, it's about me. No, that don't feel right. No, I feel like it's taking away my power when I do X, Y, and Z for you, or when I do X, Y, and Z like this. You know, it's really about, again, because you want that freedom. That horse is back there, and the back is saying, it's about something that you have counted out that you need to go back and revisit again. I keep on saying there's a gift there for power number 2. And this envy is gluttony. Again, because of your self-worth, you might even find yourself being a parasite to others. You're looking to others to be able to feed you. And I told you, again, it's about being selfish and filling up your own cup. I'm seeing the Ace of Cups, self-cup of love as well for you. Now, what is it, again, this light? How you going to counterbalance that is getting into your light work. Stand your ground. I told you, pull on that number 4 energies from the month of April, being the 4th month. Stand your ground with these people that's trying to pull on you. Stand your ground with yourself, if nothing else, because you're very wavery on that. Like, no, we said we ain't gonna do it. No, we're not gonna do it. We're not gonna lend that money to the person. We say we stop doing that because, again, we feel like, again, we're giving our power away. We're no longer doing that anymore. That's not it. And if it does, if we do find ourselves, it's for a darn reason, and we feel like we're empowered when we do it, not giving the power away. Okay, and so this is, again, stand your power. I'm looking at this. This is interesting. I just said that. This looked like almost the person of the past and the person of the future too as well. It looks like it's 2 energies here too as well. Like she's holding them back, like, no. Okay, and so I would say one would be of the self and one would be of the person's outer that's coming to you. Or you might even be fighting just yourself. You know, like say the angel and the devil, you know, those 2 things you might be even fighting within yourself. Again, stand your ground. For power number 2, release and surrender You see how she looked like she's in her own little world. Like I said, the infinity sign, that means really getting into her flow of things. And this is interesting again that these have feminine notes on here, which means again, we talk about the divine masculine energies. How you're going to counterbalance that is to go into your feminine, about what are you observing. Feminine energies is about what you're observing, how you're going to be able to get those emotions and things again, as far as manifesting how you're being, how you are showing up within for yourself spiritually. So again, all those things together, creating a team there to look at as far as how it is being expressed on the outer, how you're going to go get those things, how you're able to stand in your power, how you're able to, again, in your leadership, how you're going after these things. So again, release and surrender, so you can really truly let things bloom naturally as a process. And some of us, again, I was watching the series about Wired with Gaia, on the Gaia channel, and they were saying again, we got to watch how we're trying to manifest things, because they said if you try to manifest things with you actually doing it with matter versus matter, which means again, if you use your brain to manifest things or get things to moving, then that means that you're actually going to have to use some physical power on the outside. So you're doing the physical, your mind is trying to think of this thing, and I'm trying to get things together, which means again, that's matter changing matter. You have to get to the point that again, it's not that again, you are allowing the spirit. So this in this card is saying this is about a spiritual move. Once you get within together and how you be it together, then everything else is going to fall in line on the outer. Like, no, we're not doing that. This is what I'm resonating in my energy field. This is all about team self. I'm about self. I'm attracting things that are about self. I'm attracting people in my life that also respect who I am as self, how I'm showing up. There's no one coming disrespecting me into my energy field, and this is what we are drawing into. So this is again this, and we're releasing and surrendering it, because we're setting intentions and we're letting it flow and to come back to us in the state or the form in which we say our highest good, as far as what we are intentions that we're setting forth out there. We also have, so that is it for that one, for pile number 2. For pile number 3, we are looking, what is this, 3248, and it's probably going to be longer than that. Okay, so for pile number 3, we're looking at alone in the world. Okay, so this the shadow. You as pile number 3 person, you need to really look and see how you are feeling. I think that you might be saying, I'm hearing the song lonely, why am I so lonely, don't have nobody to call my own. So you got to kind of watch that, and you might even feel like, again, like a lot of times things that you do, it seems like nobody's supporting you. You're out there kind of doing it by yourself, and you would like to have the universe. To me, you feel like the universe is not backing you up. You feeling like the people in your lives are not trying, they've been flaky, they don't show up for you. So those are the things too in your shadow. So you got to kind of watch that. And in you being in this type of energies, it seems like to me that you have tried on all different types of identities in order to find where's your niche, where you belong at. I'd say, like one of my friends said, was telling me about that. She said, I'm seeing everybody doing all this in this fashion business, and you know, people copying off of each other in the fashion business, but I'm kind of getting to the point that I'm saying, you know what, I'm just going to stay in my lane, stay with what I know, stay in what I like. You know, instead of me biting from this person's style to create my own, I just want to be authentic me. This is the same thing with you in your shadow work. You need to find out about who you are. That's going back to pulling on that Aries energies, which is about team self, really becoming one with self, really truly hearing, meditating, doing a lot of breathing exercises, really getting into things, and maybe get to a point of like shutting down. I've gotten to the point that sometimes when I come home from work, I don't play any kind of thing. I might play a little music, or you might catch me just kind of like having nothing on. as well, because I'm trying to really get in tune with my heart and my mind, and getting that heart and mind coherence together, and understanding what's really truly I want in life, and really hearing it, because again, it has been a little kind of muddy as far as what I actually want to do, and I've been more clearer and more able to hear my voice as far as what I'm doing amongst everything. So sometimes I find myself withdrawing from people, not telling people I don't want to talk right now, this or that, because again, I see 35 because I'm getting alignment for change, which is true, because 3 means alignment, 5 means change, and 8 means to get into harmony, because I'm getting ready to rebirth self as well. This is here, we got the number 6 here. This to me is, you got to kind of, with your shadow work, got to peel away to create a new foundation. I'm seeing 3 pillars here. What is your foundation? What are the pillars? Just like it is what in, is that in the Muslim beliefs, the 5 pillars? What are the 5 pillars, or your 5 truths, or your 5 principles that you're standing on, that holds up everything in your life? I would say sit down and create that, and so that you could be able to really focus in on that, so that could be something in which you are truly living your life by. I don't think I had did that earlier in this channel about that too. To me, for you, you need to kind of go back and revisit that and create 3 principles. Those will be your pillars of life in which you stand by in order to make this change, as far as you being alone in the world. I think it's, again, because you're so unique, and especially us being on this twin flame journey, we're always looking for, people that kind of like it has some likeness or some similarities in those things as nature, and that on this twin journey, you have to really get to the point of understanding that you're unique. There's no one else out there except, but if you believe in twins, your twin it is the only one that has the same frequency, and even they express slightly different because of the circumstances and an environment and their own beliefs that they have came up with throughout their journey as well. However, at the baseline of it is still that. I feel like, again, when I'm thinking about this, you're feeling alone because you're like, where's the twin? The twin doesn't seem like they're showing up. But remember, again, and it's causing you to kind of try all different kind of philosophies and these things are trying on to identify who you are. And I would say, again, understanding that there's power and strength in numbers, and the number 1, you knowing yourself, you being very much so concentrating on self. And then once you see that you got guys, somebody showed that, I forgot where I seen it at, where it's saying, when you thinking that you going through this journey or this thing called life, and it's just you, say behind you, you represent, I think it was 104,000 of your ancestors or generations that came before you to stand behind you. It's not like a little cute little speech like Oprah Winfrey came on, I stand on the shoulders of people who came before me. Like literally they are. You got angels and whatever kind of other spiritual support that you have out there that helps you, or even if it's physical. Understand that there's no way you can say that you're alone. Also, that again, God or source or whoever that you believe in is also with you, using you as an instrument so they can be able to get the work that they need done. They always are reminding me that you're not the only one. We need you. I need you as well, to be able to do the work there on earth, on the 3D plane. So again, understand that this shadow work, that you got to believe and understand that, again, that you're not alone. Okay, that again, you come there as a team and a representative for source or the universe as well. So you're not ever alone. So what you have to do here is in the light, speak your truth. I would say, again, I'm looking at these glasses and they're shaded. You might be throwing shade at your own self. Okay, watch the wording that you speak, even if it's joking. I think that this person, you pile number 3, has been throwing shade to their own self. And again, you need to speak truth to yourself. Like I say, speak over yourself. minister over yourself too as well. You need to also in this really again take time to smell the roses, take time to notice what the beauty is in your environment, because that's a reflection of you. Get to know as far as the beauty that is within you, understanding that again that everything, evidence of clues and what's going on with you is all around you. And again, they say this third eye, you might have to do like a third eye check on on people. I'm about to say on yourself too as well, because again, what's your vision, how you seeing yourself? And that might be one reason why I say you need to do a third eye check, because you got to look and see as far as how you're seeing yourself. What are you seeing in your world? How you seeing your future? Because that might be a reason why you're not able to see, and you're in this kind of, to me, woe is me, or it's just me and I don't see nothing else, and I'm trying on all these identity as to who I am. It's like, do you have a vision as to who you are or what you want to be? And from that point, you can live, like I say, those 3 pillars can be your foundation as to what it is. Even if in some ways you got to fake it till you make it, until it becomes solidified as to who you are, then do that, because it says speak your truth. And I think it's some ways you have not been speaking truth to yourself. You have not been speaking truth to others. You've been so busy trying to be like everybody else, want to walk like you, talk like you, like from the Jungle Book, that you are not able to see self. So that is it. That is the energies that I would say that you need to work on. Again, look at it from perspective of you. Pick the piles 1, 2, and 3, and then also go ahead and pick the piles again for your counterpart as well, to kind of see where they are. Make sure that, thank you those of you all that have been watching. Thank you to those of you all that has been commenting below. I appreciate that, or giving a thumbs up or thumbs up in the comments in the community tab too as well. I appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, and thank you. Also, make sure that you are, if you are new to the station or to the channel, make sure that you are again hitting that notification bell too as well, so you can be updated, because you know I'm up here, I'm about quality, not quantity. I want to make sure that this stuff, when I come on here, is rich with information that you could use on the channel, and not just spilling out every minute of the minute stuff, because I feel like I want the ratings to go up, or I feel like again you just need it. I need to make sure I process. That's why I'm taking my time coming on here, because I want to make sure I'm processing this stuff for myself first, and then that once I got it and I say, yeah, ooh, this is good, I've used it, I want to go ahead and share it, because I think this is some good stuff that can be able to help the collectives. Then you'll see me come on here. But I don't, for me, in my journey, I don't want to again do that self, deprecating of this doing and cranking out. I want to make sure that it's quality and it's something that you can really chew on, you could really be able to marinate on, and really be able to get some information that you can utilize in your life. All right, then, as always, thank you so very much for being here. As always, stay uplifted, stay motivated, stay ascended. Namaste and Namago. Until next time, talking to you real soon. Love you.